All right, so in this video right here, what I'm going to talk about is the business owner's guide to crushing high ticket sales with YouTube ads. And so specifically, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I talk to a lot of business owners who, they want to be doing YouTube ads, they are doing YouTube ads, they want to hire somebody to do YouTube ads, whatever it is. And their question is usually like, what do I need to know to make this work? Because I've got other videos on this channel that you can check out and all this stuff where I talk about YouTube ads and funnels and all this stuff. And we get into a lot of the specifics. So I've got another YouTube video where we talk about campaign structure and different strategies and placements and all that stuff. If you're the business owner, you don't need to know any of that. That is not the most important thing for you to know. And so this video right here is going to cover all of the most important stuff that you need to know. If you can understand what you need to know and what you need to be responsible for, and what you need to cover, well, you've got someone else running your ads. And then you can get a really good media buyer or a good agency to come in and help you actually do all the technical campaign structure and setup and all that stuff. You're in a really good spot. And if you don't know what you're paying for, then it's probably gonna be hard to get a really good, you make sure you're getting a good quality media buyer in there. And if you also don't give the media buyer or the agency what they need, they're going to be not gonna be able to do a good job either. And so selfishly, I'm kind of making this video because I'm like, if you do all of this, you're essentially like my best client. But if you're not my best client, you're any other media buyer's best client or other agency's best client. So hopefully this helps everybody. So here's what I've got. I've got a Google Doc right over here that I want to show you and kind of walk you through. Basically, like the most important question that we want to answer here is, what do you, the business owner, need to know and be responsible for in order to make your ads work? And specifically when I'm talking about make your ads work, we're gonna talk about YouTube ads and we're gonna talk about high ticket sales because that's just, what I do and what I know. So if you are a business owner trying to sell high ticket coaching, courses, services, anything like that, and you wanna use YouTube ads to grow your business, one, it's an amazing opportunity right now, and it's a great channel to grow your business, but you need to know basically what I've got in this video. So let's dive into that right now. This is the business owner guide to crushing it with YouTube ads. And again, the question that we want to answer here is like, what do you, the business owner, need to know to make your YouTube ads work? And the most important thing here is like understanding what really makes YouTube ads work, because you need to have a really good offer. You need to have the right type of funnel, one that is designed to convert cold traffic or people that have never heard of you before from paid ads. And then you need to have really great ads. And that's it. Those are the three most important things for you, the business owner, to be thinking about. And assuming that you're watching this video, you're probably got a good offer, right? You already have a business or, with a product or something that you're selling, and you've got a funnel that converts. And if you don't have a funnel that converts, check one of these corners, because I've got some other videos where I talk about like what funnels are working for YouTube ads and all of that stuff. And so that being the case, your ads are the key that you need to focus on with your media buyer or your agency in order to do a really great job. Because once it comes down to what's happening on the actual ad platform, 80% of that is going to be your creatives. What are your creative strategy? What are your ads? What are your hooks? How are they scripted, edited, all of that stuff? And that's what's going to be make the biggest impact on your campaigns. The reality here is like, if you don't have great ads, and a great offer, you could have the greatest media buyer in the world and you're just not going to be successful, right? Like that's just how this works. And so I think for you to understand that, the foundations is, do you have a really great offer? Is it unique? Is it something in the marketplace that is in a hot market that's that people really want, that people see an advantage and like a differentiation? There's some contrast between other solutions in the market and this solution. There's a clear benefit to moving forward. They can see all of that stuff. Good offer, right? And then, you've got the right funnel set up. So the short of it is like we use VSL call funnels on YouTube ads right now. That's what we see working best. Again, I've got some videos, I think in this corner up here, that will, I always mess up the corners. But one of these corners, I got a video about this type of funnel. And the other one is, just great ads, right? And that's where you can be the business owner that helps the most. Because we're really like your best order priorities is like be the business owner first, be a great marketer second, and then the last thing you can worry about is like the actual technical details of media buying. That's, again, I think something you should probably get somebody else to do. So what are the phases of actually launching a YouTube ads campaign? Because this is where you can really understand like what are the expectations you should have going into this, and how is this going to like play out over time? Because they're gonna have to go through like three phases here, which the first one is like launching, testing, and collecting data. And I think this is one of the most important things to realize is like, And in the very beginning, you're not trying to be profitable with your ads. If you expect that you are going to launch some ads and then money is going to come in, you don't have the right frame of mind on how this is going to work. Now, in the beginning, you want to be testing, and you want to be testing multiple ads, probably testing multiple landing pages. I want to be testing a bunch of different audiences here, but that's something your media buyer can be doing. But what you should be supplying your media buyer with is a bunch of a packet of creatives that they can start testing. When I say creatives, I'm always talking about ads. A packet of creatives they can be testing, and then probably some landing page variations so that we can also test some messaging and make sure what's going to convert there, unless you've already tested that on some other platform with some other type of tool or traffic or something like that. Because you're not trying to make money here, and you're not trying to be profitable. You're just trying to figure out what works, because we're just collecting data. That's all it is. It's like, hey, you created 5 ads. We need to put, a couple $100 behind each ad at least in order to figure out, okay, do these have any good metrics that make us worth continuing? If they do, we can continue with them. And then do we start to see leads and sales and calls coming in and all that stuff? And for each ad, you're going to need to allocate a certain percentage of your budget to testing that out. And so we want to see what messaging work. We want to hopefully we're at this point, we're like getting leads, we're getting calls, and we're getting feedback on those calls, because we're like, is this a good quality person? Are these people just showing up, but they're completely the wrong type of people because our messaging is off and we're just not attracting the right type of person? All of that stuff is what you're learning and the data that you are buying in the beginning of this phase. And how long this takes is it's going to take as long as it needs to take, right? I've seen this take 2 weeks because we just hit a home run really quick out the gate. We start getting sales really quickly. We find some ads that are working and we're like on to the next stage. And I've seen this take really as long as like 60 days, where it's like, man, the first rounds of ads don't work, but we learn some stuff. We find some ads that are working better. We find some audiences that are working better. We figure out what landing page copy is converting at a pretty decent percentage. And then we do a next round of ads and we start testing those. And then we can see what's working there. We can figure out what improvements we can make based on what we learned and kind of move through this process. So you don't know until you know, but like we're playing the long game here, where we're trying to set up a channel that we're going to be generating $100,000 a month plus in revenue from. Like, this is time well spent, right? So the next phase that we got here is like you're starting to get traction. Like you've got traction, you've got sales coming in, you've got a few profitable campaigns, and now we're optimizing. And this is like, once you start seeing sales coming in, you're going to start seeing what's working and what's not. Because there's always interesting things where ads that get more sales aren't always the cheapest cost per lead. But once you start getting sales coming in, you'll start to see really what's working and what's not. And you'll be able to start using some of the metrics that I'll share with you in this video to get benchmarks around like, okay, is your landing page converting like it should? Are your ads as engaging as they should be? Are you getting enough calls booked like you should be? And so all of that stuff starts to give you data about like what you need to go optimize. And I'll share with you also in this video towards the end of this, or you can check the timestamps or something down here, like what you can be doing as the business owner to optimize your campaigns, because that's going to be super important, but we're going to talk about here in a second. I just want to kind of walk through these phases, right? And then the last part is scaling. And scaling is always super exciting, but I think a lot of people have a misconstrued perception about scaling, which is like, it's not like, oh, you got 5 or 10 sales, now we just jack up the budget and all of a sudden we're scaling. Yes, but no, that's not exactly how it works. Because as you scale, you're always going to find thresholds where things kind of start to fall apart, right? Where like your conversions start to go way down, your cost per lead starts to go way up, all of that stuff. And so of course, if you're just getting started with a small budget, you'll be able to scale pretty significantly in the very beginning. But then you'll find that cap where it kind of stops working. And then the way that you scale is you scale by like speaking to different awareness levels of customers. So you go from talking to people who are solution aware to problem aware. You scale by coming up with different angles and different hooks so you can get a different person's attention with your ads. If you've got an ad working really well, like one that's scaling really, really well, that's great. You want to push that as much as you can, but you also want to find the next ad that's going to work as well and see what you can do to iterate and improve on that ad. You scale by getting feedback from customers and then making your VSL and your funnel convert better. That's like always a really good one. You're taking sales calls, you're learning a bunch. So that's a great way to figure out how you can improve your funnel so that you can scale better. You scale by improving your sales process. So if you're taking sales calls, right? Like how can you have a better follow-up? How can you have a better pitch? How can you maybe use outbound setters so that you can book more calls with the people that are opting in through your funnel? And then you scale by increasing your lifetime customer value. So how can you increase your lifetime customer value so that you can increase what your acceptable cost to acquire a customer is? Because as you scale, those numbers are always going to go up. Like the part of scaling is as you scale and you start to reach a broader audience of people, less percentage of those people are going to be interested, because less percentage are going to be your ideal customer. And so what that means is your conversion rates are going to go down, which means your cost to acquire customer is going to go up. And so if you can increase your lifetime value, you can increase what you can afford to pay for a customer, because then you're going for volume, right? And not the max conversion rate in that stage. And what you can do is figure out how do you generate more revenue and more profit by having basically a higher LTV and a higher CPA. But that's once you're getting much further down the scaling process. Really quick, let's talk about like budgets and benchmarks and kind of forecasting and planning stuff out. So you need to have a budget for this to get started. If you're going to any media buyer, any agency, anything like that, you're going to have to set aside a budget to get started. A really good idea is to be willing to spend at least $5K a month on ads for at least 3 months without expecting to make it work. That is what I would say is like a good amount of money set aside to like test this out and really make sure this works. The really nice thing about that is if you're selling high ticket, you really need like 1 or 2 sales in order to start to make your campaigns actually be profitable, and so you're not losing money on the front end. One of the other nice things about high ticket is like you don't need a ton of conversions in order to make your campaigns work. And so you can get into a position to where you're getting sales, you're not losing money, and you're also learning, right? If you're breaking even, if you have a month where you break even in the beginning, that's actually a pretty good place to be, because you're not losing money, but you're learning a lot, and that's a really good spot. And then also too, once you start to get like 5-10 sales come in, you'll start to see what is your average cost to acquire a customer coming in. That's when you'll really start to have some more data about like, okay, what are you really paying to acquire a customer? What are you really, like, what is your real ROI going to be on these campaigns? Once you see that, then you'll be able to start to estimate what kind of budget do you want to be spending each month. Because depending on your threshold for how much money you want to make, how aggressive you want to be, how much time you want to invest in new ads and optimizing your funnels and all of this stuff, what you can do is start to figure out, okay, well, if I'm paying $2,000 to acquire a customer and I want to get 20 customers every month, like, cool, I should set aside $40,000 for ads this month. If I want to go more aggressive than that, then I can go more aggressive than that. If I want to go less, I can go less. Know that, again, as you scale, your CPA goes up. So if you're getting an $1,800 cost to acquire a customer when you're spending $15,000 a month, you're not going to have an $1,800 cost to acquire a customer when you're spending $50,000 a month. But it will scale, relatively speaking. It's not going to quadruple. It shouldn't quadruple. And again, a lot of the stuff that we're going to share kind of in the optimization phase that you can be doing as a business owner to help your agency or your media buyer is going to help make sure that CPA stays down and you maximize that profit that you're getting out of your ad campaigns. Also too, I think one thing that is helpful to just set the expectation on how advertising works. Everyone wants it to be this linear thing. Like everyone always wants like, hey, like I want to spend $10,000 a month on ads and I want to get make exactly this much money. And then that means next month, if I spend 20, I get exactly double. And then the next month I get exactly this, always linear. It's never like that. It's always like this, fluctuating thing. Why? Well, because stuff happens to consumers in the market. There are months where people typically spend more than they don't. Things happen in your industry. Things are going to happen globally. Things are going to happen to the platform, all of that stuff. So it's always this kind of squiggly line of going up and down. But what you want to do is work with a team that can help you understand what is your cost to acquire a customer, what's impacting your campaigns, and what can you be doing in order to improve those campaigns. So getting over here to your strategy, because this is really important for you to know, but again, I think that there's a level at which like the business owner should understand what's going on inside the account, but it doesn't need to be excessive. Because I don't think the best use of time for a business owner is probably like doing a bunch of targeting research and setting up a bunch of campaigns and figure out what placements are working and all of that stuff. But you should know that like cold traffic is going to be your main driver of sales. Like everything else that's like retargeting, email follow-up, all that stuff, that's incremental gains, that's nice, that's important. You should have that and your media buyer advertising team should be able to help you with that. But I think for you as the business owner, being really focused on, okay, do we have email marketing and retargeting and all that stuff going? Yes. How's cold traffic doing and how is that driving sales? Because that's going to be the main driver. For targeting, again, I'm not going to go into all the details about targeting because I don't think that's the most important thing to know. I think it's just helpful to generally know what's going on inside of your account, because especially when you're getting started, the most important things for you to know is like you can target based on keywords. So like what are people searching on YouTube? You can target also based on keywords that people are searching on Google. So like if someone starts searching for a topic or something related to your business on Google, they can also be shown an ad on any video they're watching on YouTube. And so for you to know that, it is helpful for you to be able to understand what's going on inside the account, so you can also help the media buyer and the agency come up with other ideas they might want to test. Like when we get started, we're looking for 10 to 20, sometimes even 30 audiences to start testing. So there are quite a few, and we go through a lot of research to find these. But the reason I say this is because I've taken over accounts where it was like, you know, someone was a sales trainer, and so the agency targeted like, you know, Grant Cardone and sales training. And it like wasn't very in-depth. And so you can go deeper than that because you really want to figure out like, okay, what are your audiences? What is your ideal customer really probably searching for? Who are they searching for? What influencers, channels, brands do they like to follow? All of that stuff, because that is a great thing to target, is like other big brands and influencers that they're probably searching, but trying to be more niche, right? Because like if you're going after golf, Tiger Woods is probably too big because everybody knows who Tiger Woods is, and people might be searching for Tiger Woods for all types of reasons. There's probably like a smaller tier, you know, professional golfer that's like, oh man, if someone's searching this, they're probably like a true golfing person and not a Tiger Woods type of person. Same thing with sales, you know, like Grant Cardone's probably too big to be like, oh, he's the sales guy. There's a bunch of other sales trainers that you can probably find that's like, okay, if someone's searching for this guy or this type of topic, they're probably really more in depth into sales, and that's probably a better way to go. So, and that's what I mean by like kind of knowing what's going on inside the account and being able to help with ideas, but I don't think you need to know all of the stuff. Also too, like sometimes just weird stuff works inside the account. So, you know, you don't have to be overly detailed in the targeting. But what can help your media buyer, your agency team, whatever you're working with, is having Google Search Console set up, because that will give data on what people are searching for already to find your website. So that's really helpful. And then Google Analytics data, because that will give good like demographic and topic data about who are the people that are coming to your site and what does Google already know about them. Both of those are super helpful when it comes to YouTube ads. So you want to make sure that you have both of those set up now so that data is collecting, so that in the future, when you want to get running with YouTube ads, or you want to make your YouTube ads better, you've already got that data all there. Tracking, really quick, let's talk about this because this is something that gets a lot of people. It shouldn't be terribly complicated. You should be able to find some kind of media buying agency professional expert that can help you get this done. But know that like, no tracking system is perfect. It just doesn't exist. It's just, sorry, it's just not there. But no tracking perfect exists. You can get pretty close, and you are going to need third-party tracking tools in order to do a great job. Just kind of how the internet works with technology and all this stuff. The data that's inside of Google Ads is, you know, directional and useful, but it's not the clear full picture of what's going on. Especially with high ticket sales, you have people buying from different devices, you have different people buying with different emails, so they might opt in with one email and buy with a different one after they get off the phone with your sales team. You have people that might convert 6 months later, all of that stuff. And so Google Ads, just platform by itself, can't track that. You need to set it up because that data needs to be there for Google, but you don't want to use that to actually make decisions with your business. You're gonna need some kind of third-party tool. The one that everybody uses right now is Hyros, and you know, hopefully Hyros keeps working as good as it does. If there's a new one in the future, I'll probably make a video about it. But right now everyone uses Hyros. That's like the kind of the best third-party tracking tool that we found. That's what we use with all of our clients, and just expect that as like a normal expense. If you're like just getting started, maybe you don't need it, but I mean, probably you do if you're like serious about making this work, because again, you're gonna generate a lot of leads now that are probably gonna convert in like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months if you're doing really good follow-up and you've got, you've got a long-term plan there. And you want to make sure that you can go back and figure out, oh, well, what were those ads and those campaigns that generated those sales, because that becomes really valuable information. So I think it's good to pull the trigger as soon as you can on that stuff. And also know like UTMs don't work. They do work really well and you should use UTMs, but UTMs don't work well for long-term like LTV tracking, because, and again, what happens, imagine someone comes from a mobile phone click on YouTube and then eventually, opts in for an email and then 6 months later opens an email and converts. Google Analytics is going to think that was an email conversion, which is valuable, but a tool like Hyros could tell you, yeah, but that person originally opted in 6 months ago and they opted in because they watched this ad from this targeting. That's the stuff you want to know, because that ad and that targeting just made you $5,000. So really helpful. There's a couple of really good tools out there. Again, we use Hyros, but the big thing is like you should be able to see your overall profitability and your return on investment pretty quickly with these tools. So like Hyros, you can quickly see by platform, you know, how's Facebook working, how's Google working, how's TikTok working, any platform you're using connects in there. And then a media buyer, an agency could go in and break down, okay, specifically what ads, specifically what campaigns, specifically what targeting, all of that stuff. Again, that is not as important for you to know. Knowing what ads are working is definitely good to know, and you can get that report from your media buyer. But being able to see like the overall profitability on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis using a tool, third-party tool, is, I would just consider that to be like the standard these days. All right, so for some really exciting stuff. What are the metrics that matter the most for you inside of a campaign? What numbers should you be looking for? What should you be asking about? And what should you have a general idea of what's going on inside of your account? ROI matters most. At the end of the day, if a campaign or as an ad is profitable, you just want to, that's all that matters at the end of the day. I've definitely seen plenty of weird things where it's like the cost per lead is too high, the conversion rate is too low, but it's profitable, so you just keep running it, and then you know, try to make improvements to make it from there. But ROI matters most. So you definitely want to know like what is your cost to acquire a customer. Again, the first 10 customers, this number is going to be kind of wonky, but once you start getting past 10 customers, you should have a good general idea like what does it cost to acquire a customer? And once you've been doing this for a while, like at the end of every month, you should know, we got X amount of customers, which means, and we spent X amount of dollars, which means it cost us X amount to acquire one customer. You want to know like your call show up rate. So again, like out of all the people booking calls, how many of those people are showing up? What is your cost to book a call? What is your lead to call conversion rate? So I'd say like a baseline 5-8% is like kind of the lowest that you'd want to see. Hopefully getting up into like 15% of the people who are opting in to become a lead are booking a call. What is your cost per lead? What is the conversion rate on your landing page? Bare minimum 10. Ideally, you want to be like 20 plus and getting people to that click on the ad to actually convert into a lead. What is the click-through rate on your ad? This is going to show you how like engaging it is for people to actually click through to the ad to your landing page. 1% baseline, 2% would be better. So if that number is not there, then you can do some work on your ads. And then view rate is like how many people are actually watching your ad and like sticking through, I can't remember if it's like 5 or 10 seconds, whatever it is. It's that beginning part. Basically, how good is the hook on your ad? How engaging is that? Baseline 15%, hopefully 20% or better. So when you're testing ads, you can know if your view rate is 8%, it's like, wow, we can probably work on the hook that we're using on these ads to get people's attention better. If your click-through rate is 2%, you can be like, wow, these are pretty engaging and converting. So we can probably go focus on the next thing because these ads have like a good conversion from click off the platform onto your landing page. The other thing I would say in here is like, it is valuable. I think probably we typically look at this like on a monthly basis is like what ads are working best. So you can see, okay, out of all the messaging that's working, what's working best, because that helps you be able to go and make more better engaging ads. All right, so here we're getting into the juiciest part of all this. What can you as the business owner really do to make things better? Like how can you best use your time and your energy and your team's time and energy in order to make this stuff work? I would say the best thing you can do is, you know, for your media buyer or agency is better, more engaging ads. Like if you can feed them with better, more engaging ads or work with them to create better, more engaging ads, that is absolutely going to make the biggest impact on the campaign. Once all things are set up, funnel, offer, all of that stuff, you've got all that, and you're just trying to figure out how do you make your ads scale and work as best as possible, better, more engaging ads. Either find someone that you can work with on this. There are a lot of really good companies that just create awesome ads, but you can usually do these with a smartphone and a good script and some good editing and some good coaching on like how to deliver and just some good practice. Like that will go a really long way. Better, more engaging ads is the best thing you like. If you come to me with better, more engaging ads, I'm just always excited about it. Optimizing your funnel, so getting better conversion rates. Optimizing your landing page using a tool like Google Optimize so that you can increase the number of conversions that you get on the landing page. Optimizing your landing page speed, especially if you're using a tool like ClickFunnels. Usually your landing pages load super slow. If you can make them load faster, you can always increase conversions that way. Optimizing your follow-up series to If someone doesn't book a call, what do you do long-term? Like, what's your long-term nurture strategy? I talk about on this channel a lot. Like, what is your email nurture strategy for someone who doesn't book a call in the first 2 weeks? What do you do for the next 9 months? Using setters to reach out to new leads, that's something that people are doing that works extremely well, because if you've got a sales team, you're just using human-powered outreach to get more people to book a call. So all you're doing is increasing that lead to book a call conversion rate, which brings down your cost to book a call, which is what you want. And then again, making sure you have a long-term follow-up strategy with unconverted sales calls. So your sales reps are following up with people and all that stuff. Creating valuable and engaging content on YouTube and online. One thing I've seen every time, once we start running YouTube ads, brand searches go up. People watch your YouTube video and then they open a new tab and they go search for you. And so if you're regularly creating good content, that helps so much with everybody's job, because again, everyone's very smart. Everyone has a lot of options these days. Like, consumers know what's going on. And so if you're running YouTube ads and they go Google your brand name and you've got nothing online, you're less trustworthy than someone who, if they did that same thing, has a YouTube channel, they're posting every week, they can watch some videos, they can consume content, they can check out their videos, they can see them on social media, they've done some interviews, all of that stuff. Actually, just thinking back, like I was just looking at the other day, Hyros, we had a client, book a call and then close from an ad. And I went and looked at their customer journey, and it was like, clicked on the YouTube ad, converted, watched YouTube organic, went to the website, went to Twitter, clicked on a Twitter link, like had, 5 or 10 engagements on organic social after the YouTube ad, then booked a call and then bought. So it's like, that's what smart consumers do these days in most marketplaces. Making sure you're tracking your ads and your finances correctly. So just having a really good idea of like, one, not only what are your ad numbers and what's your CPA, but like also what are your costs as a business for agency, software, what are you paying your setters, your coaches, all of that stuff, managing those finances really well and communicating that with the agency. I think too many people have like this weird numbers thing with agencies and media buyers. They don't really want to divulge all the numbers. The reality is, like, we're all in business to help each other make money. So if you can just be really transparent with who you're working with, like, hey, here's what all my costs are on this. So you understand that, even though I'm selling a high ticket product, I don't have 100% margin. Here's what I really need. Here's what the numbers are looking like. How do we work better on this? Super helpful, great conversation to have. Next thing, make sure your students are getting amazing results. Even if you have to hire some help with this, having a great product that people talk about is incredible, and that helps so much. Like, no one wants to sell bad stuff and buy bad products. So if you can make people get better results, that's amazing. Collecting case studies and testimonials, that helps so much. Adding in and optimizing your back end. So what is your back end offer so you can increase LTV? And then again, communicate with your media buyers and your team. So when you see new things happen in your industry, trends with your customers, new ideas for ads, new influencers, all that stuff that you can be targeting, communicate. Have a good open communication. We have a Slack channel and we can just share ideas there. We don't need to jump on calls. It's just like quick ideas over Slack. Here's what I'm seeing, here's what I'm hearing, here's the feedback we got on phone calls. All of that stuff helps so much. Okay, so that is it. That is the whole list that I put together. Just trying to really think about, like, how can I best help any business owner who is getting started with YouTube ads understand what they can really do to get the best results. Again, I think if you can handle this and you can get a decent media buyer or a decent agency to come in and work on your account, you'll be successful. Because again, it comes back to, like, if you don't have a good offer and you don't have really good ads, it doesn't matter who you hire to run your ads, you're just not gonna be successful. And then if you can understand these other things, like, you focusing on improving the funnel, optimizing the back end, all of these other pieces of the puzzle, and then your media buyer can just really focus on all the stuff that has to happen on the platform, and then you can focus on all of these things to make it convert better. That team of having someone maximize everything they can do on the traffic platform, and then the next person maximizing conversion, so you're just generating as much revenue from all the money you're spending on your ads, that's exactly what any good media buyer business relationship should be. So I hope you found this really helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I will say, like, if you want to get more into like the tech media buying stuff, so like campaign structure, all that stuff, I've got this other video that's coming up next. Again, I think it's on this side, but it's this one. I can never remember which side it is. But I've got a video that will show you all of that. And other than that, I don't even think I introduced myself. So if you don't know who I am, but you've watched all of this by any chance, one, thanks for sticking around. Two, my name is Bryce. I run an agency where we help online businesses that sell digital products, high ticket offers, and all that stuff attract new customers online. So we run a lot of YouTube ads, and I'm just inside of these types of businesses and inside these types of accounts all the time. So thanks for sticking around. If you got a good view, hit like, subscribe, make a comment, all that stuff. And check out this other video if you want to learn more about, the details of YouTube. And I hope to catch you in the next video.